Secret of the Mimic. This game is out, and what a Fazgoo trip of a game it is. Today we're going to be summarizing the lore of this game, the story, and which ending is canon, as well as some hot take theories sprinkled in there. Oh, and disclaimer, this video will be assuming that you know some of the basic lore of FNAF, as well as have seen a playthrough of the game, or have played the game yourself, so keep that in mind. I'll link a great ryetoast video summarizing the whole lore of FNAF, and I would recommend playing the game or watching a playthrough if you can. Thanks. Anyways, let's start this video off with the actual events taking place in-game. The game starts with us, a Fazbear employee named Arnold, driving in a van to a place called Murray's Costume Manor. Dispatch tells you that you have to go into the manor and retrieve some Fazbear property. Pretty simple, right? Wrong. You're wrong. Once you get into the manor and past the welcome show, Dispatch decides to level with you. It's revealed that there's something else in there with you. No. No amount of money you could pay me would make it worth that.
Hey, now that you're in there, I'd like to level with you.
What?
There's something else in there with you.
What the?
I'm not done talking. Calm down.
Okay.
The thing that's in there wants to kill you.
Oh, no.
Shut the heck up. I'm not done talking. It can fit into any of the mascot suits in here. Heck, it could be in this very room.
No, I'm not. I can't.
You need to retrieve this technology or you're fired.
But.
And the doors are locked. Have fun.
So, yeah. Terrifying. Dispatch gives you a device called a data diver, which lets you open the doors of the manor and make your way through the game. Your data diver has different permission levels, which you upgrade throughout the game. Each door has a certain minimum permission, so as you upgrade it, you can unlock different doors to get through different rooms and make your way through the game. Your goal is, in short, to fully upgrade your data diver to admin and make it into the admin wing. I'm going to keep it short here to include more time for theories. So, summarized, you make it through the factory, encounter the Mimic as an elephant, and then get a pretty underwhelming Jackie encounter. So, my reaction, honestly, to this bit was like, yeah, sweet, an encounter with Jackie, and, what? What's that? Wait, it's only like 10 minutes long? Hi, had to correct something in post here during the editing process. You know how I said 10 minutes there? You know, I would say 10 minutes isn't enough for the character on the front of the box of the game. If Jackie even got 10 minutes, it's a 4-minute long encounter. 4 minutes. Anyway, back to the video. But seriously though, I was quite disappointed in the amount of time that they gave to the character on the cover of the game. 10 minutes is not long enough for such an iconic character. Yep, and the song. There was a song. Wasn't in the game though. Glad it wasn't in the game. Anyway, Jackie gets an awesome chase scene, I will say. Sort of similar to the ones you would see in Poppy Playtime, but hey, if it worked, it worked, and it worked. Eventually, we see Big Top, also known as Maestro Music Man, and he gets a chase scene too. Big Top's chase scene is okay. His encounter is scary, don't get me wrong, but his jump scare is, like, mid at best. Here. Eventually, you make it to the admin wing and meet this, early form of Chica, suspectedly made by Fiona, which means, maybe not today, but in a future video, I will be covering which inventions were Henry's, which were William's, and which were Edwin's, or which were Fiona's. There are so many wrenches thrown into the gears of the lore by this game, which is great. Mysteries are back in FNAF, baby. And that's about it for the main gameplay. Now it's time to cover. Oh boy, here we go. we have 3 endings in this game. The bad ending, the true ending, and the secret ending. In the bad ending, Dispatch asks you to turn in your data diver and walk out. Simple as that. And then you just get to enter your van and drive away. Or do you? As you're driving away, Dispatch contacts you one last time and makes a horrifying discovery. Dispatch wasn't able to contact you at all night. Which means it doesn't take a super genius lore theorizer like me to figure out that the Mimic was Dispatch this whole time. And as we see in one of the other endings, suspectedly Mimic 01, I don't know why that was so hard to say. Anyways, you're driving off, and you see an orange light in the back of your van. You turn around, and, well, yeah, there's not really much to this outside of the reveal of Dispatch being the Mimic. So, time to move on to the true ending, quote-unquote. You know, I put air quotes, but I gotta say, I do believe in the title of true ending for this, because I think it's canon, and I will prove it to you with a wildly absurd theory that I've seen a couple other people make, but is mostly a pretty hot take still. Anyways, in this ending, you activate a program called parachute.exe. Doing this takes you to an underground prototype Freddy's restaurant, which is so sick. And then you get to wear literal spring lock suits of Bob the dog, Fredbear, Spring Bonnie, and Foxy. This has some crazy lore implications. I, for one, think it's possible that they were originally hoping to do Springlock versions of the main cast, but we only ever see Foxy as a Springlock and Bob the dog. So, it wouldn't make much sense. Also, seeing as we have actual normal animatronic versions of the main 4 being built over here in this area. So, it's possible, and it's something to keep an eye on. If this does end up being the case, I will still say I told you so. Anyway, the gameplay on this bit is wild. You go into the Springlock suits, and you walk over to the office, get spotted by a camera, and a door closes in front of you. You do this 4 times. Once you get stuck in halfway through, another time with the other 2, you get stuck right outside the office doors, and eventually a voice tells you to come in. This being the voice of Dispatch, which is absolutely wild. So, Dispatch lets you in, and it's revealed that it's not Dispatch. You meet a machine titled F10N4, which is Leet speak for Fiona. Yeah, probably a Mimic version, seeing as, well, of course, it's a machine talking to you. In this part of the game, we also get some crazy dialogue.
Despite the circumstances, it is nice to meet you face to face. It is lonely down here.
Wait, what? What are you? A computer? Your voice changed. What is going on?
You have questions, but there is no time. I'm almost out of power. You can still be useful. My communications with Edwin have been severed. Edwin abandoned us. He shut himself away from home. Head to the main house and activate the communications sub-terminal. I have a message for him. We must convince him to repair M2. That is all that I want. If you do not, M2 will never stop pursuing you. Tell Edwin I still love him. Entering standby mode.
In a later chase scene in this same ending, we hear Fiona, or F10N4, say that she watched David, specifically David Murray, not Afton, it's kind of confusing there, grow up through this machine. And if you check the soundtrack of the game, the song playing during this chase scene is called Back to the Iron Lung. If you didn't know, an iron lung was a machine that essentially someone would be trapped inside of it, and it would be the only way they could breathe, I think. I'm pretty sure. But, like, hooked up to a machine, so you're stuck, you're living, but you're as a machine, kind of like Fiona is through, assumedly, that's a word. It's a word now. Assumedly, through Mimic 01 in this F10N4 machine. AKA her own kind of iron lung. Gosh, I love these games. From here, you travel to Murray's Costume Manor's Murray Manor, aka Edwin's house. You get film reels that show each of David's birthday and use them to form a code that leads you back to Edwin's office. From here, you enter a chase scene with the Mimic and burn down the building and leave. That's about it. In the lore section later, I'll discuss why this is absolutely the canon ending, and why burning down this restaurant... It's not a restaurant. Burning down this manor is such a wild concept, which is really helpful for the lore. Anyways, you drive off in this ending, and Mimic captures you. Your car burns down, and you're trapped under it. Eventually, Mimic reaches at you, grabs your data diver for some reason, and walks away. What the Mimic would be doing with a data diver with nowhere to plug it in, I don't know. Especially seeing as it seems to only grab one part of it that you use for upgrades and not the actual data diver that you plug into things. So we'll have to keep an eye on that lore-wise as well. And that's about it. But now, the secret ending. This ending is not easy to get. You see, there's this text-based RPG game, similar to, like, I think Oregon Trail, called Moon.exe. If you get every single collectible scattered through the entire manor, you can finally beat Moon.exe and get the glitched permission on your data diver. From here, you go back to your office, activate Parachute.exe, the restaurant section goes as normal, but once you get to Murray's house, that's where it switches up. Rather than collecting film reels, you use your data diver to get into new rooms where you can find little tape cassettes. If you gather up all 6 of these tapes, yes, there's 6 of them, you can finally get the secret ending and unlock a new room. This being the bedroom of David Murray. God, I love this game.
That's right, a wily fox buckled washes in his pirate ship. Isn't that nice? So, what happens next?
That's right. A roly-poly bear sat down and offered a pot of honey. They ate with glee. Oh no! What did they do?
That's right, an angry alligator came by and promised not to eat anyone. But then he ate one of them. Oh no! What did they do?
That's right. The puppies saw everyone arguing. The group yelled and gnashed their teeth, and it scared the puppy, and she ran away. This shocked all the friends, and they realized that anger didn't solve anything. They all started a band and lived happily ever after. The end.
moral of the story is that friendship is the real treasure. Now it's time for bed. Your parents love you. Sleep tight.
I nearly cried in this section, and I never cry at video games. Ever. This was such a wild thing for the devs to put in. Thank you, Steelwool Studios, is what I'm saying. And now... So I have a pretty hot take to start this section off. That hot take? David was never hit by a car. There, I said it. Come at me. Come at me with your flamethrowers. I don't care. I believe this theory until someone proves me wrong. Anyways, I think instead of being hit by a car when he was out on his playground, he gets crushed by the falling moon and ends up in the basement. Yeah, that's a weird sentence. That might be an original sentence, folks. That might be an original sentence. So, anyway, we see David has a little playroom, pillow fort-esque thing in the story time showroom of Murray's Costume Manor. So, right away, you're probably a bit confused as to why I'm not just going with the way he dies in the books, being out on the playground, chases his ball, he's going into the street, there is a car, and he's going to hit him off. I'm so sorry. Toxic gossip train. Toxic gas. I can't with myself. I can't do this. Anyway, in my theory, there are some huge parallels to the books without directly taking that narrative. In both that theory and mine, David has a place where he likes to hang out, A, his playground, B, the storytime showroom. Some sort of incident happens, getting hit by a car, the moon falling down, and David dies. And of course, the line in moon.exe that we see, he bounced the moon, which might not actually have any alignment to this at all, and just is probably a way of them saying what happened. But it aligns with my narrative, so I'm gonna say it anyways. Anyways, there's a huge hole in the center of this room, proving how the moon could have fallen down. Coming back in post, just to clear one extra thing up that I kind of forgot to specify. I don't mean the literal moon. I mean the statue of the moon that we see in the underground basement that was presumably a statue area thing in the middle of the storytime showroom. My bad, guys, my bad. And if we check beneath this hole, in the area under it, there's a basement with a fallen moon. And the Sleepy Moon animatronic chasing us around, which I don't think is haunted by David. I think that would be the White Tiger, but it is possible that, yeah, there are two haunted animatronics in this facility. Once again, a theory for another day. But you know what my most damning piece of evidence for this is? The only reason that we would ever go to this specific basement section is to get all the collectibles. And you know what collectible we see underground in here? We see David's ball. So, it is possible that it even follows that David was chasing his ball. Once again, song. I can't really bring up the song as evidence since it's a fan song, but I want to torture you with making you listen to it. Even further evidence is beneath this, on the basement below it, we see David's white tiger. Not as plush, but a full animatronic suit of it. this suit gives us hallucinations, and it sort of teleports around in the dark. And, even more damning evidence, the name of the achievement that we get from beating this, in both the PlayStation and Steam version, is Fundophobia, which is sort of similar to Phasmophobia in title. Yeah, I think this is haunted. I very strongly think that the white tiger we see is haunted. Anyways, I have second super hot theory before we wrap this video up. And it might make you think I'm crazy. So hear me out here. Murray's Manor, the FNAF 4 house, the sister location bunker, the FNAF 6 restaurant, and the Mega Pizzaplex are all on the exact same spot. Don't click off. Stop moving your... No, stop moving that mouse. Get your hand off your mouse right now. Anyway, as I mentioned earlier, in the true ending, we burn down the entire manor and run off. We also know from a lot of evidence in the game, as well as the literal intro, some text logs, that kind of stuff, Fazbear is claiming all of Edwin's property. They say they wouldn't take his house, but we kind of burned that down, so my theory is that the land plot that this is built upon is Fazbear's land now. Anyways, FNAF 4 house and sister location bunker, maybe not, but strongly I feel that the FNAF 6 location and Pizzaplex are in this spot. Let's go through my reasons one by one. Number 1, of course the FNAF 6 restaurant and the Mega Pizzaplex are bundled together, since we know those are on the same spot because of Ruin. Reason number 2. Under the Pizzaplex, it said that there's a large power source, and of course, what do we see in the true ending? A large power source, and if this place burns down, and that place is in the basement, you see where I'm going with this? Reason 3. If a large building burns down, it is possible that it could create a sinkhole. It's not that uncommon. We've seen it in history before. And of course, every good theory has to answer a question. Or a couple questions. Or even give new light to a previous statement. So what are these questions, and what is this statement? Well, question number 1, what large power source? That already explained, given to us just straight away there. But even better is, why are there Murray mascot suits beneath the Pizzaplex in Ruin that we see the Mimic hiding in that haven't been used by Fazbear, that are in the same storage things that we see in Secret of the Mimic? My theory is that the top floor burned almost completely, leaving essentially only these mascot suits, but the basement stayed just intact enough to keep this large power source. It also gives a new meaning to the FNAF 6 line, all these souls gathered in one place. Meaning, of course, Henry, Mike, William, Elizabeth, MCI, possibly MCI, and if we're going with Molten MCI as the theory. And, of course, now, Edwin, David, and Fiona. And, of course, all the Fazbear workers. But, anyway, that's all I've got for now. So, remember, that's just a theory. Again. Yeah, I can't. So, I'll see you next week. Until then, goodbye.